Welcome to CBC Arts Exhibitionists. It's a new season and we are taking it to the next level. Today we do a deep dive into evolution.
Painting a Sasquatch gets your mind kind of into their world.
In here is my daughter's arm, a mold of it.
I have a responsibility because big working in the street is for everyone.
I feel happy doing it because instead of doing something wrong, you are doing something right.
Hey y'all, welcome to the season 4 premiere of CBC Arts Exhibitionists. I know what you're probably thinking, what kind of a name for a TV show is Exhibitionists? I know, it's a lot of syllables. You're also probably wondering, am I gonna see a bunch of naked people? The answer to that is maybe. What you will definitely see is a ton of art that will have your imagination feeling like it's on fire. My goal is to make you realize that Canada is overflowing with super talented people. Who am I? I'm your host, Amanda Paris. So here's the 411 on how it all goes down. Every episode, I do a deep dive into a theme, something that ties together all the art you're about to see. Today's topic is, drumroll please, evolution. Evolution is a subject that has been studied and debated and obsessed over for generations. But as much as I love David Suzuki, this is not the nature of things. So be assured I won't be doing a deep dive into Darwin or dismantling the bullcrap racism of eugenics theory, although that would be interesting. I'm fascinated by the way something simple can gradually evolve into something much more complex. So that's what you're in for today. I hope you're ready for your ride down the rabbit hole of evolution. You're gonna see sculptures and a Sasquatch. Yeah, you heard me right, a Sasquatch.
Painting a Sasquatch really gets your mind kind of into their world. I'm Greg Allen. I'm a visual artist from Regina, Saskatchewan. In my youth, I think the first time I saw the Patterson-Gimlin footage, which is the world-famous film footage from the 60s. As of the last kind of 5-6 years, I've been really diving into it and understanding all the different hypotheses out there and what this thing could really be. So it's quite interesting stuff, I would say.
It walked across the eons of time, not human, nor beast than man.
You have the camp of the scientific-minded people that need physical evidence. They basically think that it's an evolved ape. And then you have the woo side, or the supernatural side. The idea that this is an ethereal being, that it can dematerialize, it has different spiritual powers that we don't possess, and it's very in tune with its environment, more so than we can even understand. So some of my work, I've included my rendition of what I would think a portal would look like. As an artist, I can freely explore the woo side of things without facing ridicule, as of yet. The Sasquatch being has entered through a portal onto the physical plane and is now traipsing through his forest. And I say his because he's very familiar with every twig, every branch, every leaf, every song of the bird, every animal he sees, he knows. He comes to a clearing where he looks through and sees humans. The humans are unaware. They have no knowledge of the birds. They have no knowledge of the trees and the leaves. And what he observes of the humans is them having a picnic, littering, consuming, having no respect for their earth. The Sasquatch knows that these humans don't mean to be bad, they are just ignorant, and he is disappointed in where they are as a species, and he wished they would evolve. But at this point, he can only watch, so he stays in the dark and out of sight.
love when I'm getting out of the ocean. I love the sort of thrill of working so hard on making a piece and then just surrendering it. My name is Susannah Montague. I'm a ceramic sculptor living on Bowen Island, British Columbia. Our family had 2 antique shops in Scotland. We had blue and white china that we had as our dinnerware, and just the details in the Dresden dolls that we carried with us. They almost became more precious with the little breaks and chips that they had in them. I just see now that I put it into my work in a kind of contemporary way. There's always a narrative, but it's telling a story and still referencing these old techniques that I want to keep alive. I think my style is influenced by my childhood and watching my children grow up. The daydreams we have as children and the nightmares of a childhood, and it's captured in the scary and the beauty of these pieces that seem to know a lot more than they let on. Got some barnacles there and there. They're awesome. Oh, and a lot down on the legs. Barnacles are made of calcium carbonate, which I found out is the same material that glaze is made out of. So I've been firing them in the kiln and letting them grow on my pieces. In here is my daughter's arm, a mold of it, with some vintage decals from an old ceramic factory. This is a vintage doll that I took a mold of and recast together and made it in clay.
Mom, what are you going to do?
Just submerge this in the water. This is the piece that we pulled today. It's got some of the barnacle growth here. This piece, I cleaned the barnacles with bleach. It got a lot of the yellowy green part off. The ocean as a collaborator is allowing me to let go of the preciousness of my work.
Hello everyone, my name is Belzil-Normand. I'm an artist from Rivière-du-Loup and I'm currently living in Quebec City. I'm your exhibitionist artist in residence this week. You are going to see my work. In my practice, I'm interested by the concept of frivolity in the process and also by the methodology of making a film.
Coming up, we're about to meet an artist who's capturing the evolution of cities through their skylines, one mural at a time. Art and biology are not the only things that evolve over time. Societies and mind states do too. There was once a time when women having the right to vote was considered a radical idea. Suffragettes in the UK literally had to blow up golf courses to get their message across. Not too long ago, the idea of a black woman as the host of a nationally broadcast TV show would have probably been met with protests and picket signs. But here I am, gray faux locks and all. Today, smoking weed is considered a crime, but next month, you get the picture. And the picture is exactly what Spanish artist Okuda is interested in. He travels to cities around the world, including Vancouver, Toronto, and Edmonton, creating large-scale murals that illustrate just how much these communities have evolved.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your
working in the streets like 20 years. And this one I select Toronto because it's my highest piece, and I love to paint on the top. And I think it's the highest painting in Toronto too, and could be an icon of the city.
This is a very diverse area. I think it speaks energetically to the power of how we can bring everyone together.
Normally, the concept of my art is multiculturality, freedom. I have a responsibility because big working in the street is for everyone. Art has to be for everyone, I think.
Color is a huge theme always in Okuda's work. There has been a lot of conversation of whether or not this is a pride flag. I think the importance of the colors that are within the pride flag means that it is for everyone. Showing people that we can use these colors to bring everyone and unite everyone within a rainbow is really key.
I think all like big series have to be freedom flag on the top. It's necessary to be a modern city. I have 3 cities in Canada with my big paintings, and I'm very happy because of that.
From a massive mural to one dancer's meticulous movement, this is Brian Solomon.
My name is Brian Solomon, and I dance contemporary Indigenous dance. We're in a time of a native renaissance. Louis Riel said that my people will sleep for 100 years, and when they awaken, it will be the artists that give them their spirit back. I grew up in Jibananeng, colonially known as Killarney, Ontario. My dad would take me to the powwow sometimes. My mother is Irish. It was only when I became older that I was able to dissect what was Indigenous and what was more colonial. I mean, the people who really trained me, nobody knows them. You know, they're really kick-ass hunters. They're women who raised 13 children and had all these tricks with how to move and how to make things. These people trained me the most. Being two-spirited and this wild artist to be in this small community that still sort of lived partially off the land, it doesn't leave you. In my mixed blood community, there's a way that we lived that doesn't happen here in the city, and it could be valuable. And in that way, certainly when I dance, I feel that communication, I feel that nudge from where I come from. I think the feet are a huge source of connection with our whole body for obvious reasons. They're holding ourselves up as we walk through the planet. There's a brilliant Gitsen woman, Margaret Grenier, who says we should walk on the ground as though we're walking on our mothers, which seems so intense, right? I would never walk on my mother. But if you had to, you're gonna do it in a certain way. how would you walk on her if you had to? And that meditation sort of instantly does something to the rest of your body. You're going to hone in on a lot more shock absorption. I think in an ideal world, we should be moving until we die, you know, the same way an animal does, the same way a dog does. So I feel very full when I dance, full of life.
Coming up, we visit a very special exhibition of over 800 pieces of artwork made by a 94-year-old grandmother.
My grandmother is very religious. She's 94 and a half. She spent every day making these collages from the ages of 84 to 92. She made them with junk mail and flyers. They say Jesus loves you, but to me they mean other things these days. When I first put the work up, or wanted to put the work up, I was just really fascinated with how inadvertently contemporary and subversive and tongue-in-cheek they were. It's like Jesus with like a Big Mac, Jesus with donuts, Jesus with raw meat.
I want to emphasize that things that are being thrown away in garbage can be useful to do something good to the minds of people.
I put up 800 collages, just a tiny fragment of her thousands that she's made over the last 8 years.
I feel happy doing it. Because instead of doing something wrong, you are doing something right. So you appreciate yourself, you are doing something right. It's a good message.
While I was mounting the exhibition, it had new meaning for me. Meditative process of piecing together 10,000 paper clips, holding each of the pieces in her hand and seeing how much thought and work and effort and love that she put into it. I don't know, it touched me in a new way. And also just seeing in the collages, the aging woman and how she's still dedicated and devoted to her work or her practice or her ideas or her values and the things that she wanted to convey. And even though the letters changed and the patterns became less detailed, the letters, which, they became smaller and less refined, she was still doing it. She was still doing it every single day.
I have been painting the picture of Jesus ever since I can remember.
Making a painting, which is the Sacred Heart of Jesus with my father's face on it, is religious in her own way. She didn't think it was blasphemous. I just didn't really think about how odd it would be to have your father's face on this iconic holy image until much later as an adult. To my grandmother, Jesus was important and a message of love, but so was her son, and so is everyone around us.
I just wish that everyone with a heart will be loving people around them, forgiving those who are doing wrong.
It's so beautiful the way April was able to take these devotional pieces that her grandmother had made all her life and evolve them into something bigger, something artistic, something that celebrates her. How could I have an episode about evolution without talking about how things change across generations? So that's our show. Join us every week for another in-depth look into the Canadian art world. If there's an artist that you think should be on CBC Arts Exhibitionists, or if you just want to share your own thoughts on evolution with me, like, what do you think artists are going to be creating 100 years from now? Or will the world just be a burning pit of nothingness? Let me know what you think. Send me a message on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Our handle is @CBC Arts. Oh, and here's a little eye candy before I go, courtesy of Elise Gravel. Peace.